Hey, what's going on YouTube? Marine X back at it again. We are halfway through the calendar year for 2024. I have a set number of items that are my favorite items so far. I don't know if they'll be my favorite items by the end of the year, but they could be my favorite items either for usefulness, innovation, how often they get used, or just aesthetics. So they kind of fit each category. This might give you some ideas as we approach Father's Day. If you want to get some stuff, we approach the summer, all that good stuff. So make sure you stay tuned to this video because we're going to be doing a giveaway. Up to 4 people can win some of the items in this video. So make sure that you actually stick around for that. That being said, let's jump right into this thing. Now, these are not in any particular order. These are just items that I use quite a bit. All right, so we're going to start off with some items that really are helpful for me. The first one we got to talk about are the Ray-Ban Metas. I did a review on these bad boys, and you know, half a year in, they're getting just more and more usefulness out of these things every single day. I've since bought Mrs. X a prescription pair of these where she can now wear these as reading glasses, help her see her screen at work, and she can also have these as sunglasses. And then I still have myself the translucent pair itself. Listen, these things are fantastic. They've updated these where they have full AI. I use that all the time. I keep the AI voice control turned off. Now I get even better battery life. I'll link up the video that talks about my review of this. But basically, I use this as my speakers. It has built-in speakers. It has built-in cameras. I post stuff to Instagram Reel all the time. This is probably one of my most heavily used EDC items, hands down. And I can't believe the durability of it, just the fact that it's just super useful. I love the way these things look on the actual face. I mean, throw these things on. I feel like a freaking evil genius if you can see what that looks like. Even here, I even show you what this looks like real quick. So this is what they look like on the face. I think they look pretty freaking fantastic. So that's something to think about as well. If you're trying to think about finding yourself a pair of glasses for everyday carry, for sunglasses or whatever, and you got the money, I can't recommend these enough. I really like the charging case. I actually bought an additional one. This thing can charge the Metas. I don't know. These things last me, because I've turned off the Hey Meta feature, they last me about 5 hours. In this case, I think can charge them 2 or 3 times. Don't quote me on that. But if you get these, get the transition lenses that go from clear to sunglasses, because if you buy them in the sunglasses only, you're going to feel like you didn't get your money worth because you're not going to be able to use them indoors. You're going to look like an idiot wearing sunglasses indoors. So get the transitions. It costs a little bit more. The next thing, okay, listen, I know that there has been a controversy hands down with Benchmade lately with them suing Montana Knife Company, but I must admit, one of my most used items in the man cave in my everyday carry has to be my Benchmade 1500 cigar cutter. Is a assistant style opening for this guillotine style cutter. I just had it serviced with Benchmade's lifetime or life service warranty or whatever, and it was actually a pretty good process. They tightened this thing up, they sharpened it, and you know, I didn't identify myself until the very end of the process of who I was, and I was treated basically how everybody else would be. The process took overall probably about 2 weeks, and I wish it was a little bit faster, having to use other cutters. But I like this to be able to not only cut cigars, but if I need to cut small things, it's a S30V blade still. Like, it's legit a knife that you could use for whatever specific reason. And the thing about it is open that thing up with that assistant. You got that S30V goodness from Benchmade. You have this stabilized wood. I don't know what type of wood it is, but I've had this thing for almost 3 years. And it's starting to really gain its own. The stabilized wood is not starting to rot. It's not starting to fade. It's, you know, so they really did a good job with the stabilization process for this. And I love this thing a lot. Made in USA. The sheath is really good. The sheath is starting to wear in. So here's the sheath action. So it has a nice little, just, I don't know, nice feel to it. When I take this to a cigar shop, I get a lot of compliments, a lot of questions. Staying in the knife world, we got to talk about the Hogue Deca. Now, when I first got this thing 2 years ago, I did not carry it very much. And the CPM 20 CV blade still impressed me immediately. But what didn't impress me was their Able lock, which is their version of an Axis style lock, their crossbar lock. And it just wasn't that great. But since I've been carrying this thing consistently for 6 months, you know, I might try another knife out here or there. This thing has become my favorite for opening, for using, for cutting. I love the aggressive nature of the Warney blade. It just really makes it easier for tackling everyday tasks, whether I'm outdoor, zip ties, cutting up fruit for the kiddos, everyday tasks, breaking down boxes, being like a little MacGyver. This knife kind of gets the job done. And then we got to look at the G10 textured dark earth scales. I know you guys keep telling me about AWT scales. You know, Flitanium makes some scales. So many different people make, you know, the original gold scales. I want to check those out. Don't get it twisted. But something about these just well-made, well-desired original scales that come with this are really, really good. You can get this thing for normally sometimes on sale for less than 150, but it's usually like the 160 mark. But carrying as much as I do, using it at least 5 to 10 times a day, I feel like I'm getting the value out of it. Now we got to go with my fixed blade for the year. And we're going to go with the Montana Knife Company Blackfoot. This is a Magna Cut blade steel full tang knife that just gets the job done. Nothing seems to get in the way of it. It always works when I need it to. It's extremely sharp. I mean, obviously it's Magna Cut, but I enjoy this thing quite a bit. I'm a big fan of just how they put this together, how it feels in the hand. The fact that it's G10 scales is a plus for me. I know for something that costs over $200, this thing is $300. And shout out, if anybody sent me anything, I'll let you know. Shout out to Montana Knife for sending me this. Although they sent this to me, this blade for me personally would be a purchase I would make for that $300 mark. But that's for me personally. You may not be something that you want to do. You might want to get something from Kaiser or get something from a competitor such as Bradford or et cetera, et cetera. This thing's been great, whether my hands are sweaty, have blood on them, I'm wearing gloves. The G10 scales have like this little bit of texture, which makes it very easy to hold. They really do have this in mind for hunters, but because of the blade length being less than 3 inches or about 3 inches, you can actually EDC this thing pretty easily. So I've been enjoying that quite a bit. The sheath is really good. It has a nice clicky sound when you put it in there, so you're confident that you've actually put this thing back in its sheath and you're not going to completely hurt yourself. So I think that that's fantastic as well. Listen, guys, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit that like button. I'm talking to you twice, 2 times. There's 2 of me on the screen because I really want you to make sure you hit that like button. Comment down below the thing that you like so far the most, or as we get further into it, the item that you like as we continue to go. We now have the Keybar. Now, there are a lot of key systems out there, okay? The Keybar key system, this one is the over-the-top system, okay? This is titanium scales. It has bronze, I think bronze or copper inlays in there with a little bit more titanium. But this really just keeps my keys very, very slim down. They do not jingle. I will say this, about once a week or so, I do have to tighten these actual flathead screws. They do work themselves out from constantly opening this thing up. This thing gets used the most whenever I go on my ride on my bike or whatever, because I have to lock up my bike when I get to my destination. So working the keys in and out, you know, going to my post office and stuff like that. But I love the fact that there is just no jingle action whatsoever when it comes to these keys. Keybar has really made a great product, made in the USA. And so as much as I like the Orbit key and the Jibbin, and KeySmart makes some good stuff too, it's something about this with this built-in pocket clip, which I think is also titanium, which has been really, really good and super impressive so far. Now, we got to talk about Axwell. It was hard to make this decision when it came to my favorite wallet, and it was going to be the Wingback wallet, which is the leather wallet. It's great. It's fantastic, but it's something about the Axwell wallet that just really, really is just bringing me back throughout the year. First off, we got to talk about these plates. They have these like removable plates. You can literally take this off, decide, you know what, I'm a little bit tired of that plate. How about we grab another color from their website and you can swap it out. Now, you know, the copper with the orange looks a little whack, but you get it. You can get black, you can get copper, you can get whatever, and you can kind of change it out. So matter of fact, if I want to change this out and go maybe put a little bit of orange on top of this black, which looks freaking awesome, you can do something like that. They sell a money clip, which I don't normally use. I just wanted to show it to you because I talk about this often and I say, hey, they sell a money clip, and everybody's like, okay, where's the money clip? I don't like the money clip because it kind of covers the logo, and I like the way that these covers look. So I normally don't use the money clip, but that's what it looks like with a money clip, because the back of these wallets actually are a built-in strap, and the strap part is removable as well. So if I want to take this to a full orange, take this off, swap it around. Now I just made this into a whole new wallet. Listen, these friction style wallets is something I didn't think I was going to get fully behind. I've had a Ridge wallet, and I just wasn't a big fan of some of the price points. I wasn't a big fan of the build quality on some of these because they would just seem to be over engineered. Now that I've had this thing for almost 2 years, I've really grown to appreciate what this is made to do. How it just makes it really simple to carry exactly what you need. I think it can get about 10 cards in here. I normally don't carry that many. I normally might have a couple of MarineX business cards and maybe some my driver's license, a health insurance card or whatever. But it just makes life that much easier. So I can pull out a business card, boom, and give it to somebody or whatever the case may be. So fantastic wallets. I will say that I wasn't expecting to like them so much, and they also give a portion of their revenue to veteran organizations. So I think that that's pretty cool as well, that all the revenue is not going straight profits. It's going to veterans organizations. So we have got to talk about this watch winder. Okay. I have this thing. It's called a watch winder. I wear a lot of different mechanical watches, whether they're automatic, quartz, whatever. And I hate grabbing a watch that I haven't worn in a week and I have to reset the date and I have to reset the minute hand and the hour hand. It's a first world problem. I understand that. But this little watch winder by Duncan, or I think it's Dukin, I think this is a white glove product, because when I looked it up, they sent this out to me as well. I saw other companies had the same one with different logos. I like the fact that they didn't put their logo on the front of this. It's very clean looking. But this thing will wind your watch depending on how you want to do it, counterclockwise, clockwise. It'll go clockwise and counterclockwise, and it will do it in different increments of time. Excuse me. I have mine set to go about every 10 minutes or so. So it will go every 10 minutes or so for 12 hours, and then it takes a 12-hour break. And if your watch can't hold 12 hours of energy, then it's not really a good watch anyway. But that way you're not using the power of this thing. The thing I also like about it is that you can also run this off of AC power. So it does include AC or DC power, to be honest with you. You can use the barrel plug that comes with this thing, or if you want to, you can actually daisy chain these together. So if you have the plug that comes with it, you plug it in here. And if you have 2 or 3 of these things, you can plug these to one another and use one plug from the wall, multi-chain. I think up to 5 of these together. They can all share the same voltage because they're such low voltage that you can have all these sitting on top of each other, next to each other, or whatever. I think these are a pretty good solution, especially for less than $100. It's a faux leather on the outside. It actually looks pretty slick. I wasn't the biggest fan initially of the orange, but it's actually kind of grown on me. And I love the fact that no matter which watch I'm wearing, I know that I'm going to be able to grab it and the time's going to be correct. The date's going to be correct and all of that good stuff. Now, we have got to talk about, oh, and I didn't even mention, so this can also run off of batteries, obviously, which is what I'm using. So I'm using some Coast batteries in the back of this bad boy, and that has to be the next item that we got to talk about is Coast rechargeable batteries, whether they're the AA's or the AAA's. And I like these a lot because they seem to really hold energy for quite a while. They came with this little charging system, which charges 4 of them at once. So if you get a 4-pack or whatever, you get a charger that does 4 USB-C or USB-A for the charging port on this side. But I love these because companies are finally starting to get towards using more efficient charging instead of micro USB. These are all USB Type-C. And I don't know what technology that they're using in these batteries. I know they're not LiFePO 4 or anything like that, but these are really good batteries. They hold their energy for quite a long time. And I really like the fact that I can use devices like the watch winder, anything else, my flashlights that are AA or AAA, and I can literally just throw in a recharged battery. I know that sounds cheesy, but they've been some of my most used items this year. All right, we got to talk about multi-tools. So we're going to talk about, this is the Victorinox. They make 2 different versions of nail clippers, okay? This is the one that also has a built-in knife. It has a built-in file, toothpick, and tweezers. But I use this thing a lot. I think if you get the one that's only a dedicated nail clipper, the nail clippers are stronger. This thing struggles on my thumbnail. I have really hard nails and my nails grow incredibly fast. So I basically EDC nail clippers, and they do have a knife and all that, file and all that good stuff. But I use these things probably at least once a week because of how fast, my nails grow quick. My hair grows really fast. So this just keeps me from looking like an ape, looking crazy. So I didn't think I would use these so often, but I really enjoy these quite a bit. And now I don't look like a weirdo carrying around a regular set of nail clippers like I was doing for the last couple of years. This just makes a lot more sense. We got to talk about my normal multi-tool, the Ace Boon Coon, the Leatherman Free P4. I've had this thing for over 2 years. And since I've done my mod, and when I did my modification and I added the 1/4 bit driver, and it also can use the smaller bits as well, I've been using this thing nearly every day. Because of this small mod, sacrificing some tools that I was not using very often, putting this mod in, the actual tool locks in place just like the original tools did. This is by far one of my favorite tools within my everyday carry now. I love the free technology of the Leatherman Free P4 or the free series in general, whether it's the free P2, P4, or the ARC. They all have that great technology where you can open and close the multi-tool with one hand, which means you can keep your hand on the workpiece. You're holding a boat or some a cabinet or whatever you're trying to hold on to, and you need to open your multi-tool, take it off your belt, take it out of your pocket, and use it very easily. I think this is discontinued. Leatherman, if it's discontinued, you know, it's very disappointing because we've lost the squirt, we've lost the juice, we've now seem to be losing the free P4 and the free P2, and I guess you're going to go all in on the ARC. But there's still a few of these left on Amazon. I'll link these up down below as well. Hey, guys, we have got to talk about the giveaway for today. So let's talk about the Nutsack Sling Plus first. So this is the Nutsack Sling Plus. And a lot of people ask, what's the difference between the Sling Plus and the regular sling? Well, the difference is not height or anything like that. It is width. So if you see the Morale Sling on top of the Sling Plus is a little bit wider, but they're both the same height. Okay. So you really get the Sling Plus if you want to put wider items inside. I have been treating the Sling Plus like a big major work bag. The work tote by Nutsack is a heavily used item of mine. I've talked about that, but I've been using this thing quite a bit. And the thing I like about this is that I can throw my 14-inch MacBook Pro in here. I can throw my notebook in here, some sunglasses in here, clip something to the front. Even though, you know, I'm not a big fan of the actual Molly weaponry on the outside. It's grown on me because of its usefulness. To be able to take something like a hero clip and throw the hero clip on the front of this, and then, you know, I would fully close it or whatever, but I can hook something to the front of that and just move. It's fantastic. And then I can take this strap off and literally throw this thing and treat it like a big ass bag and just throw it places wherever I need it to go. This brings us to the giveaway portion for today. Nutsack is sponsoring this portion of the video, and they want to give away a Morale Sling and a Nutsack Commander. Now, here's the thing. They just dropped a bunch of new bags in the Cordura fabric and the Cordura. I've been a big fan of Cordura and a lot of different companies. A lot of companies don't implement it well. I've had other bags that have been in Cordura. The Nutsack Morale Sling in this Cordura is fantastic. Okay, at first I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, but the Morale Sling looks really good in this Cordura pattern, and I love the fact now this actual loop panel on the front, it looks a lot more muted. You can still put your REs on there. It feels really good. It doesn't feel like a 1050 or 550. It doesn't feel like it's going to tear your clothes up or anything like that. I don't know what the actual makeup of it is. Still got the YKK zippers and all that good stuff. And then, you know what, the Commander has been a fantastic pouch by Nutsack as well. I've already talked about this in a previous video. This is what you can do to enter this giveaway. All you need to do is click the link in the description, register for the giveaway. So you need to have an actual email, register for this giveaway, like this video, comment what was your favorite item from this specific loadout that I just showed out, everything that I talked about. So do those 3 things. Click the link and register, actually like this video, and comment down below your favorite item. When we pick a winner, and a winner will be picked 2 weeks from the publication of this video. If you did not register, if you didn't like the video, if you didn't comment, you won't be qualified to win. And we're going to be giving away 4 items, 2 of the Morale Slings, 2 of the Commander pouches. So your chances of winning are pretty freaking high. 4 people getting selected. That's pretty good in my book. So your chances of winning are pretty high. And you probably didn't know about this giveaway until you got this far into the video. So if you clicked away early, sucks for you. For the folks that stayed, it's fantastic for you. Shout out to Nutsack for sponsoring this portion of the video. And the Sling Plus has been something I've really enjoyed quite a bit. And, you know, I like companies that also can take constructive criticism because they saw my review of the Speed Sling and they know I wasn't the biggest fan of it. And we still have a great relationship, which is a fantastic thing where other companies don't quite have the glass, don't have a jaw for that type of stuff, which is very well appreciated. Next, we got to talk about, this is the Lockb. And if I'm mispronouncing that, you know, my bad. This is Lockb. This is their field journal. They also have a smaller, like a notebook style. I like this thing because I journal every single day. I didn't know that I needed something like this until they reached out to me. They wanted to send this to me. This has made me actively carry more items with me, or sometimes literally walk out of the door with just my notebook and go to a coffee shop. I like to go to Black Rock Coffee, which is near me here in the Plano, Texas area, and sometimes and just journal and write. And I love this thing. It's designed in the States. It's carefully made in Vietnam. Normally, we're big fans of, you know, made in the States, cheer, yeah, made for the States. And I'm all about the home team. But quality does not know geography. And this is very well made. I will say that this actual loop system on the front keeps it nice and closed. They include a notebook. I do use the notebook that I sell, which is the Chronicle by Marine X. Of course, you can always buy this on my website, but it has all sorts of little areas over here. You can put a passport back here if you want to. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to be traveling here soon. Of course, I always have little areas here for business cards because whenever I'm somewhere, someone asks me, what am I doing? What am I writing? Why do I have a camera? I always just give them a card. Or if I go into someone's facility and I want to film in their facility, I oftentimes will want to just give them a card, let them know who I am. And then other areas, if I want to take a credit card with me and leave my wallet, you know, if I want to take a small multi-tool or something with me, I can throw that in here. Then it has its own actual bookmarks in here, which are built in. My notebook has a bookmark, so I don't need it, but it has a couple of bookmarks. It has a couple of elastic bands to hold smaller notebooks. This is a big old fat notebook. But imagine you have a smaller notebook and you want the pages to stay open. You can use this to hold the pages open. So you got all sorts of stuff there as well. I think this is just really well made. Then the very back has another slip pocket if you want to put receipts or notes, and a little grab handle. Grab handle is you know, if you had a lot of weight on this, I can tell that this will rip apart, but there's no reason why you should have tons of weight on this. But if you journal, if you write a lot, if you actually do that type of stuff, this may inspire you to actually use your notebook and use your items even more than what you use them currently. All right, back on the Nutsack. I promise this is not the Nutsack show. It's not. Pause. It's not the Nutsack show. But I have to talk about the Nutsack double admin pouch in leather. The reason that this is my favorite pouch so far this year is because of how it has brought me together with other men, pause, no, to just enjoy myself and be able to go out and have a good time. I've been using this as a premium EDC pouch, loading this out with my cigar kit. Right now, it's basically kind of empty because I've moved. I was testing out. Recently testing out a bag by Waterfell, and I had a lot of stuff in there. But this is so good to put my, you know, my cigar lighters and a couple of cigars and a couple of pens and just take this with me, literally zip this thing up. I can attach the straps that they sell on their website, or I can just leave it naked and take this thing with me to a cigar lounge. It's patinaing so well. It gets tons of compliments. It looks really good. It smells good. It's made of leather. Like, I really enjoy this pouch. And it's I love the organization. I love the fact that I can empty my entire pockets out. If I want to wear some shorts that don't have the best pocket set, everything can go in here. I can take this to a buddy's house. I know I'm going over there to smoke and he's only gonna have big lighters or something like that, and I'm a little bit of a cigar snob. Everything's going to be taken care of with this thing. So I can't recommend this enough. Done a full review on this as well if you're interested in checking this thing out. This is my sleeper pick, guys. This is my sleeper pick. I got to show you the features of this. First off, this is the Coast RL35R, Romeo Lima 35 Romeo. This is a voice controlled 1100 lumen headlamp. You're probably thinking it's a headlamp, X. Who cares? Yeah, this is the best headlamp I have ever used. I'm probably going to do a review over it. They didn't pay me any money. They're not going to pay me any money. And I like it so much, I'm doing a goddamn review on it because I think it's great. Let's talk about some of the basic features. Of course, you got the on-off switches and all that stuff. It does green. It does red. It does white. It also has a little rear switch right here to let you control the lighting on it and all that type of stuff. The very back is a safety light. So if I want to turn this on while I'm riding my bike, which is what I do, I'll put this on the back of my head and use it as a safety light. The front light and the rear light both share the same 18650 battery. Well, it's an 18650 battery, meaning that I don't have to use Coast battery. I can use any 18650 battery I got laying around, which is fantastic. Battery indicator on the very top. Rechargeable with USB Type-C, so you don't even have to take the battery out to charge it. Okay, so it's still pretty basic, right? But this is why this thing is goated. This is voice control. Push this little button on the bottom. It's now activated for voice control. Let me show you some features of this. All right, now I got this on the head. I'm going to just show you some features. I'm going to put it to the side so I don't blind the camera. Let's do this. Coast on. Coast green. Coast blue. Coast red. Coast minimum. Coast up. Coast down. Coast arc. And now it does the arc light, which is a little bit hard to see. Coast flood. Coast spot. Coast off. Sir, that is so freaking goated. I don't care what you guys think. If you use a headlamp a lot, which I use a headlamp a lot because I'm always working on my house when the kids go to sleep. I'm outside working on stuff. Sometimes I'm doing some pruning. I'm doing some stuff on the yard. I'm doing some stuff to my pool. I need my hands free. This has come in handy so much. Now, because they're both sharing the same power source, sometimes this cord can get a little bit out of whack. And, you know, I think that's something that they can work on, but it still has all the basic features of a headlamp. Tilts forward, tilts, all that good stuff. But I like this headlamp. I did not think that they could do something so good. I think MSRP on this thing is $74. It's oftentimes on sale. I think it's on sale right now. I'll link it up in the description below. If you're looking for a headlamp that's going to be good for hunting and then also good for around your house and just everyday use, this is it. This is the headlamp where you spend your little money and you just roll with it. And Coast is really trying to innovate. They are really trying not to be that company that gets left behind. I think that the company that's kind of like not innovating as much as I want them to is Streamlight. Streamlight has the wedge and stuff, but you know, Nightcore keeps putting out bangers. Olight is the iPhone of the Olight of the flashlight world. They're putting out the same flashlight every 6 months. But Coast is doing something different, and this thing blew my mind when I tried it out. And there may be some other variable light headlamps out there. I'm sure of it. But is there other voice controlled headlamps out there? I've seen headlamps where you put them on your head and there's like a trigger that you wear on your chest. If you're wearing like a IFAC or something like that, or if you're wearing a flak jacket rather, or even on your belt. But I haven't seen a voice control. I think that's freaking goated. You can turn that thing off. Very, very cool. All right, so which one of these items was your favorite so far? There's other things that almost made the list. The Ultra Human Ring was probably it has to be my most used EDC item because it's almost always on my finger. I think I'm going to do a review on this and talk about why maybe it's not 100% didn't make the list. And then I didn't name any specific watches because I just really enjoy a lot of different watches and stuff like that. But if you want to enter the giveaway, make sure you do the things we talked about. Click that link, like this video, comment down below your favorite item. We're going to be picking someone 2 weeks from now. Shout out to Nutsack for sponsoring a portion of today's video. And also, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the battalion. I didn't even mention that's not even a requirement for this giveaway. But you know what? I would like for you to join the battalion as well. If you like the content of today's video, hit the subscribe button, join the battalion. We would love to have you guys here as well. Oh, you guys some upcoming content when it comes to EcoFlow. All Power is putting out some great generators. Jackery, I finally gonna give Jackery another chance. Diamondback, we got to talk about them. All sorts of stuff coming up. Ben Roos watch, all sorts of great stuff coming up when it comes to survival, EDC, and prep. So, hey, if this is your first time stopping by, thank you for kicking the door in. If this is not your first time stopping by, thank you for once again watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.